Okay, lady, go ahead. Take it away.
Okay. So just to reiterate, I saw somebody just jumped on. I'm about to talk about using Affirm for your trips or offering Affirm to your clients as a payment option for their trips. So I've offered this to or I've suggested to my clients that they can go ahead and use Affirm or any of the other payment plan methods to pay for their trip. When it comes to Affirm, and I'm sure this is like all of them, first and foremost, they do have to get approved to use Affirm. So what you would do is whatever your fees are for your trip, let's say your fees is $500, you tell them that they would have to go to Affirm. They can either go and do this on their phone, or you can get the app, or you can do it through your browser. So pretty much when you log on, the first thing it asks you for is like a number to verify who you are. Now, when you first come onto Affirm, and like when I first started to use Affirm, I did have to get approved. These are one of these platforms that you have to get approved to use, and it's like a soft hit on your credit. It's not like a hard run on your credit. It's like a soft hit. So, you can let people know that, because they're like, I don't want to be, using my credit, or I don't want nothing on my credit and stuff like that. So it's a soft hit. It's not going to really affect their credit score with using this platform, but they do have to be approved. Now, the thing is, once you use Affirm and you do get approved, everybody has a different purchasing power. It depends on you and what your credit and what your history look like. That will give you that will tell you, what your purchasing power is on Affirm, and it does tell you up front. So this is something that they have to go through. But basically the process is, once they go on Affirm has something called plan your purchase. So what they would do is log on to Affirm, ask them to verify themselves by putting their phone number in. If they've used them before, then they already can go in the app and see what their purchasing power is. If they haven't used them before, then they would go through the process of seeing if they can get approved. But when you go to plan your purchase, what Affirm will ask them for is the total. So let's say your trip is actually like $521.32. Affirm does not allow you to put in the cents, so you would always have to round it up to the nearest dollar. So they would just put 130. I don't remember what I said, 32. You would just round it up, so it'd be $133, because you can't add the cents. And so it asks them for that number. They will put that number in. Now, Affirm does have a list of a bunch of different merchant stores or whatever, but they would just have to scroll to the bottom, because your company is not going to be on that list. So they would have to just scroll to the bottom, and there's a button that says like manually add this whatever company, and then you them your company name. So mine is through Traveljoy, and Traveljoy, I believe when someone makes a payment, it shows up as TJ and then whatever your company name is. So mine shows up as TJ Lost with Lady LLC. So I tell my clients that's what you put in as the company name. And then you put in whatever that fee is. If your purchasing power is there, and you get approved, then Affirm will offer them a payment plan based on, I think it's like 3, 6, or 12 months. Sometimes they require a deposit, sometimes they don't. If they don't require a deposit, the first payment for Affirm starts the following month. But when they get approved, Affirm gives them a virtual credit card to use, and then it will have the credit card number, the expiration date, the security number, and then they will have up to 24 hours to use that card until it expires. So if they don't use it before 24 hours, then it just goes away and it cancels out their purchase. So they will go ahead and use that card number, come back to your site. If you're using Traveljoy, then they will go ahead and put that card number into Traveljoy to pay for their full trip. Now, I also tell my clients that you can even split this up. If you want to go ahead and pay your own deposit and make a few payments and then pay the balance off using Affirm, just so that you can have more time to pay for your trip. You can do that too. You can switch it up if you want. If you want to just lock in your 200 deposit right now, you can do that, and then you can set the rest of the payments on your Affirm. It depends on you, however you want to do it. But they will need to complete that purchase within 24 hours. So it's like whatever the next purchase is that comes on the Affirm app, that's what that money will go to, whatever they got approved for. And as you use Affirm more and more and you have a good track record with them, and you're making payments on time and all those good things, your purchasing power actually does go up. So because I've used Affirm many times now, I have a purchasing power of around $5,000. I think it's like five, it might be 6,000. But it didn't start out that high. So it's gone up over time. So when you look at your Affirm, and if you don't have the purchasing power, you can still try to plan the purchase and see if you can get approved for that beyond your purchasing power. That is still something that you're able to do. Like I said, once again, it just depends on the person and whatever their, is connected to their social and their background and their credit. It depends on them. So I would still offer it to everybody or suggest it to everybody. I'm also going to I have this step by step from their website. I'm going to drop the link in the chat, so you can click on this link and it will actually explain to you how to request to pay over time and determine what your Affirm card purchase is going to be. So I just dropped that in the chat. But that's basically it. It's very simple. If your client needs some help, just like walking them through that. Okay. Janae, is this your phone?
Yeah, as you were going, I was just going through it so they can
Oh,
see.
okay. Sorry, I'm just into my talk.
As you,
But
I was going through so they can, you did good. I was just
okay.
flipping.
Okay, cool. So yes, you see this and it gives you so it didn't ask you for a deposit. Sometimes it does ask people for a deposit that they have to pay up front. I think it might just depend on how big of the purchase is compared to their purchasing power. They might have a deposit, which is cool. But yes, you can see here they give them options for 6 weeks, 6 months, or 12 months. My folks always go with the 12. And the good thing about it, even if you go with the 12 and you see what their interest is, you can still pay this off early and it will knock that interest down, which is what a lot of my clients do. Yep. So it show you the schedule. If you click on that little arrow, Janae, across where it says 12 payments, 12 total payments, and that little arrow pointing up. Okay, not that arrow. Click on the 10 plus more payments, maybe. Nope, I don't know. Normally you can expand that to see monthly, but you get the gist. That this will be charging you $50 a month. Our prices, my package prices are over 1,200. So normally my clients monthly has been around like $100 and so dollars. And when you click show number right there, Janae, then you can just copy that. You can copy your number and then go ahead and they will go back to Travel Joy, put that information in, and you see where it says plan active for 23 hours. This is your timeline. If you don't use it before this runs out, then it will automatically just cancel out the plan.
And y'all also know, I don't know if y'all noticed, Ultimate Sky Travel was not listed, like she said before. Her company wasn't listed as well. But you can just put in the search what your company, and if it doesn't do it, you just keep the process going because you already typed in what it is that you want to go, that you want to use it for. And so this is how they can direct pay you. your company, or even if it's a supplier. So say for instance, you're using Travel Joy and you want to pay the supplier directly. So you're probably like, well, how does that work? You know what I mean? How do they pay me through Travel Joy, X, Y, and Z? They're listen, they can make it out to whoever you did it through. Like let's just say you use um Vacation Express, for example. They can put Vacation Express in, and just like you would do the credit card authorization form for any credit card, you would do it the same way with the credit card that they give you with Affirm, period. The only difference is that, like Jay said, the if they're paying off their trip, the trip is paid off completely, and then the rest is between the client and their payment plans with Affirm, and you're done.
Yes. And you see that where it says on here, your plan applies to your next transaction. Make sure the next place you pay is Ultimate Sky Travel. So really, and they're saying this because whatever transaction comes through next on your Affirm, that's where they're going to send the money, even if it doesn't say Ultimate Sky Travel, which is why they're reminding you, like, make sure your next purchase is from this company, because this is where we're going to, the next transaction that comes through is automatically going to get whatever money was approved.
Awesome.
I
Thank
have a question because
Yep.
I'm
Just
what
about to put it up for questions. Questions.
I'm sorry. I'm just still a little confused with, so do you in order to have a firm send the payment to either you or the vendor, how I'm still confused on how you get it set up to where where the person know that who to send the funds to. I guess once they get approved. Do I have to go in
I
and get approved through a firm or
No, you don't do anything. I normally kind of walk my clients through this process, my
okay.
personally. So we get on the phone. I've had two people use this so far. So I just get on the phone with them. And I also do explain this to them if we haven't got on the phone. But I want to say with both of my clients, I got on the phone with them and kind of walk them through, because when they were ready to purchase the package, they were ready to like purchase on a spot. So they were like already on their phone, like, okay, I'm opening up Affirm right now. Let's go ahead and do this. So I'm just walking them through the process. So I tell them like, okay, go and click on plan a purchase. So yeah, so this is the Affirm app. You can click on where it says card at the bottom of your screen, Janae, and scroll down. Oh, well, see, it still has your plan going right here. It's
Yep,
still
I showed it to them. If y'all paid attention, I walked you guys through the whole step as she was talking. So if you missed it, make sure you go to the stream and rewind it, because
right.
I actually did my purchasing power and everything. They told me what it was, and they assigned the virtual card as well to it, as you guys can see up there. And so I did walk through the process. So if you miss that, I'm not going to be able to duplicate it again, because I'm not having them check purchasing power consistently. I just did this just to do it so you guys can see it.
Right.
And if you guys want to know what the question is, like, well, now I got a plan on there, it immediately after the 24 hours, it will disappear. What I encourage you guys to do is do what I just did. Just go in there yourself as the person. I always tell you, if you're going to walk somebody through it, you need to do it, right? So you can be able to speak intelligently about what it is that you're doing. So just like Jay said, she used it personally. She was able to walk her people through it step by step to where they can navigate the path with her. But if you have not done that, it'll be a little bit confusing to you and to your client. So I wouldn't recommend, if you haven't used it, to walk your client through it. I need you to go through and just like I did, I put in, I think what, $500, and I put it to my company, just, just going through the motions. And now card is sitting there, but it's not going anywhere. So it's not going to impact you whatsoever, if that
Right.
makes
Right. And Janae, you can cancel it if you want. If you guys are just testing this out, you can go in and cancel this plan as well. But yes, that's all you do. You tell your client, hey, if you want to use Affirm, you open up Affirm. It asks you for your phone number to verify you. Just, at the start of the process, you go in, if they're on their app, it has the card icon, but they just will tap on plan a purchase, put in how much the purchase is. It asks you for whatever company you're looking for, because our companies are not going to be in the drop down box of like H&M and Southwest and all these different companies that they know and love. You would just scroll to the bottom, and then you can manually put in your company name. So you would tell them what name to use. You would say, hey, when you're typing in the company, you put in whatever your company name is or whatever shows up. Well, this is if they're paying you. So they've been paying through my Travel Joy, so it comes up as TJL Lost with Lady. So that's what I tell them to put in. So whoever you're paying, if you're paying Royal Caribbean or whatever the payment is going to go to, you can just tell them, hey, put this. And then they will go back to where, once they get approved and they get the card number and all the information, they will go back to whatever payment portal you're using for your trip. And then they will go ahead and put that card number into that payment portal. And then the purchase will come through, and it has to be done within 24 hours. Did that answer your question?
Yes, that did. Thank you.
Okay.
So also for you guys, not just with your own packages, but flights. So if you guys are that super duper travel producer, we're not clickers, we're actually helping the clients. So if you know you got a client that got a family of 5 that's going to Dubai, that's at least an average cost about $1,000 per person on a good day. So that's about $5,000, right? There's all kinds of flights through here. American Airlines is one of them that you can use for your client, recommending it to them. And like Jay said, walking them through it. Like they've already probably making payment plans on their packages already, but they're probably going to need some assistance with their flights, right? So this is just some knowledge you can drop to them and say, hey, if you need help with your flights, you can go on Affirm. If you like American, you can deal with them. If you don't deal with American, they also have this thing called alternate airlines. Now, alternate airlines, if you guys know Air Affordable is what we had before they had Affirm and payment plans, or they probably had it then, but it just was not as popular in the travel industry. But Air Affordable has a higher interest rate. The interest rate is pretty high, just similar. So it means, and not only are they a little bit higher, but they also just do it like layaway. So it's like every 3 weeks type of payment plan or something like that. So on Air Affordable, you won't get the option to do months. You get 6 months of every 3 weeks. They don't give you 12 months. So it makes those still that $5,000 still can be a pretty penny to drop, every 3 weeks for somebody, right? So then you got alternate airlines, which is another source that you can shop, or the clients, whatever, however you want to do it here. And oh, by the way, they do offer cancel for any reason. Everybody offers the, similarities, but you can shop online literally for flights, and you can pay with it directly through the app. You see where it says pay with Affirm? Right here, buy flights with Affirm, boom, and put in your information for your clients. This is just another one of them. There are also like hotels on there, and every, Marriott, you name it, that's within here as well. I'm not speaking for yourself as well as, whoever your clients may be. But in essence, if you want them to do your package, like Jay just said, just have them put in a search, type in if it's your company, or if it's, like she said, Royal Caribbean, to put it in there, and they'll be able, you see Expedia is on there, and a few more others. So Affirm is one of 6 that I'm tracking. We have to talk about next week. We're going to talk about one each week, but I think the next one is, we have Affirm. we have Uplift, and what's the other one that starts with the A?
Klarna,
Klarna, Zip, Sezzle. So Afterpay.
Afterpay.
Yeah, Afterpay. And again, on these things, now you see they're not all created equal. So some of them may not allow you to manually put in. So you got to know which ones you can use that's going to be able to pay you for the package, if that makes sense. And all you can do is just go play with them. But again, we're going to talk about one next week, have a different person who uses it to chime in so they can share with you guys how it is. I got a question for anybody on here. Has anyone else used Affirm before as yourself, or just like for your clients?
I've used it before.
Awesome. Oh, yep. Lashana said Delta is in there too. Use it personally. And that's good. And like Jay put the little help in there. So for those who have never used it, click on that little help link and see how to help your clients make their payments extra fast. Because Jay, doesn't it relieve the stressors of sending out payment invoices and reminders and
Yes,
extensions?
I like the church to be paid in full. I
And
like that. And it's less stress for my clients also because you know, when we do our trips through Travel Joy, we have the option to do payment plans. But if someone jumps in 5 months, you know, after I create the trip, their monthly payment plan through Travel Joy is going to be very high. So that's why I'm like, well, if you go ahead and go through Affirm, your monthly payments will be less. You'll have 12 months to pay for it. It makes the trip very, like, way more affordable for them. And that's why I kind of like push for that, just so it kind of takes a lot of stress off of them trying without having to go through my payment plan on Travel Joy that might say like $300 a month, because now you only have 5 months to pay for the trip because you jumped in late. You didn't jump in early when I first posted the trip. So it kind of gives them more flexibility with the payment plans.
yeah, that's a very good tip, because you guys know how you might want to do some last minute deals to fill up a couple of more cabins, for example, or you may be one or two away from getting that group all-inclusive express group or a non-traditional group to get some extra benefits for your group. Then that is when you want to do a strong push to be like, hey, because it's going to be need to pay in full, right? So you would do a strategy here, strong push to say, hey, for anyone who books now, you can book at this price point, give them a discount, which will come out of your commission. It will come out of the list, because people are like, well, where the money come from? The money is, if you say $100, then that's $100 that's going to come out your commission. So I'm just letting you know. Or you can say you can book now and get $200 off your next trip, which means they're waiving their deposit. Anything strategy wise to get them to book, and then use Affirm and get that last one. So thinking outside the box. So anybody else have any other questions before
There's
we
a question in the chat box, Shanae.
go for it?
So once they do the payment from Affirm, they basically have paid it in full, right? So if they cancel, will we still get our commissions with commission protection? My trips, I do not offer any refunds. Everyone has travel insurance. So if they cancel, then they will be filing a claim to get their money back.
And then to also answer that question, it's just like a credit card. So you don't get commission protection. It depends on the supplier. The commission protection is based off the supplier. So it doesn't matter if they use Affirm or not. If they use any credit card and they cancel, and that supplier you're using don't offer commission protection, then yes, the answer is yes, you will lose that commission on there. That's why I always recommend that you put in your terms and conditions that either the deposit, like the deposit is non-refundable for the supplier, right? So then your additional as a travel advisor, your costs for putting a trip together and stuff like that is not applicable to them. But if the trip is canceled, you need to make sure you either put in $100 non-refundable for services and fees in there. So that way, in the terms and conditions, even if they file for the insurance company, you do get to keep your money. That money is not going back to your client. You get to keep it, but they get to get the rest of it from the insurance company. So that's just something you have to also put inside of your terms and conditions. So at least you will, if the supplier does not do protection for commissions, at least you have something for your time and effort that you have put into the trip. All right, good deal. Thank you so much. Everybody give it up for Lady J. She was so calm and collective. Just, like, hey, by the way, I'm just gonna have to bring her back for more training.
Oh, okay.
Love it, love it, love it. Let's jump into Travel Joy. And let's welcome the new people that's on here. Who's new on here? That's new to the business, just got into the business. By all means, speak now, forever hold your peace. Come out the mic. I know we got some new people on here. I have to call them out. I'm gonna call out the new people. Uh-oh. Oh, Mr. Kevin Crump is in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think I saw my girl T on here earlier. There she is, Miss Flanagan. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Miss Flanagan is the new business partner of none other than Miss Yvette Craven. So I'm so thankful that I got you on here. And Mr. Kevin Crump is one of my new business partners. So welcome everybody. Travel Joy for new people is a platform that we use to keep us organized. It keeps our trips organized that we schedule. It allows us to send out automated reminders for payments. It allows us to have credit card authorization. It's really like a little one-stop shop for us as travel advisors and keep us from having to do multiple platforms. We use this platform. I use this platform, I should say, and most people on our team use this platform, but there are some other platforms, like our host agency has IntelliSpark that some people are educated on. Some people use JotForms as well, and our Travelify, that I know are top ones. There's some other ones that's out there as well, but I cannot speak intelligently on them. So we're just going to go over to the basics, and we're going to show you how we can create a smart proposal within this system for our clients and not have to put in a whole bunch of work that we used to have to do, right? So does anybody have a cruise or something that's coming up, or have a cruise currently that you can feed us information from?
I do.
Who said that?
Jay.
All right, Jay. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, cool. All right, so I'm gonna go under my test group right here. This is what we do for training, and Jay is going to graciously give us the information for the trip. But what we do is, this is your dashboard. We're going to go in the dashboard, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to create a trip specifically for this training, and I'm still going to call it test. I'm going to pick my Jane Doe's as
I'm gonna put the link to my Travel Joy in the chat.
Okay, and listen, and we do that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Travel Joy makes it easy for people to duplicate within their own Travel Joy to see, you know what I mean, to work it. And I absolutely love that. That's something that people can do, tweak, and not have to make it from scratch or add to. So Jane Doe is my primary traveler, and this is my trip details. Where are we going, Jay? When are we going?
Okay, so my cruise is going to the Bahamas and Coco Cay with Royal Caribbean. And this is February. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. February 17th through the 21st.
How many travelers do you have right now?
10.
Okay. So I'm gonna put in 10, and it's going to give me a little block, right? I'm gonna hit create trip. Oh, it didn't do it on that one. Okay. Normally, sometimes it say if you got 10 people, then it says, hey, you should be doing a group, but it didn't say that because I'm not sure why it did say it. Maybe something different. Just to let you know. But we are now going to the Bahamas. I'm going to change my picture out I should have did that up there, but you can always go right here and edit the trip. And I'm going to change my picture to a nice cruise picture. She said Royal Caribbean. Oh, but I got cruise at the top. Oh, what is that? Inside of here, we can search for all things cruises. And I'm just gonna pick a nice pretty picture for a cruise that looks good. And now here's where my group comes up. It says because I got 10 people in here, now I am either going to name my group and then I'm gonna put additional travelers in here. It got bigger, but if I do this down to 1, you're not going to see this right here at the top is gonna go away. It's not gonna be a group. We're gonna keep it at 10. What we're gonna name the group?
My group is called Sailing into 60. It's for my mom's surprise 60th birthday.
Mind you, they said surprise. And it says no results are found because I have not created this group with this name yet, but that is okay. I'm not putting any additional travelers in right now, but I am going to save it. If you want to put the budget in, you can. It's not required. There's only certain things that's required, and that is the primary and the name of the trip and your date. Sometimes it will tell you if you get out of here and you don't do it, it's going to let you know, hey, you need to put this in there. All right, so our trip is successfully saved. Now I'm going to go over here to this nice little button. How many of y'all can tell me if I'm in a group or not in a group? Just by looking at the screen. What is different that you don't see on here for a trip versus if you were creating for a group?
It would say group files.
It would say group files. Very good. Nothing on this page say group anything. So this is a hint and a clue for you to know you did not create a group. You just created a trip, a flexible individual trip, right? Which means it has less than 5 people. 5 or more will contemplate and travel joy a group. So that's all that means. And so all you would do is get out of it and go back to the red button and hit the create. And this time you will hit create group. Okay. But this is the tall indicator right here. There's nothing that say group. And normally it say group files, group this, group that. All right. So we're going to go over here and hit this nice little create button. Create. And on this create button has itinerary form, invoice direct, invoice supplier. Invoice direct is where you can pay the client pays you directly, and then you turn around and pay the supplier through a virtual card. That is something that we cannot do in accordance to stay in compliance with our host agency. Invoice supplier is the client will pay you. You have the credit card authorization of the card that you have received from them, and then you are going to directly use their card to call and pay for or go online to pay for that person's trip, the client's trip. Then you have proposal, and then you have smart proposal. Like with any and everything, proposal is basically you're doing it yourself from scratch. Smart proposal is from scratch, but you got some help and some assistance. This is what a proposal looks like when you're creating it, right? You come in here, you can, if you are a Word document person and you want to make things look different, or a PowerPoint presentation, you're that kind of person, you want to make it look pretty in here, then you just upload that file. Or if you want to use a web link, if you want to just basically copy and paste from what the supplier gave you, which that's your option. I don't recommend it, but it's an option. You can type in the link of the proposal that was given to you, and they can go to the link. If you want to do a new document, you can actually do a proposal from scratch using like a similarity to Word and here. And this is how, what I say, you can do it from scratch. Same difference. Now, I don't really like this one too much because it's kind of plain and generic, you know, even when you do a preview and you put something in there, it's going to look kind of plain. So that's why I tend to gravitate more towards the smart proposal, because there's nothing plain about a smart proposal. So let's jump in. Smart proposal comes up. It already looks different. You see, nothing's plain about the smart proposal. And I am so glad that this came up, because there's some nice little updates that Travel Joy does. You want to hide some items from clients, you can now add items to your itineraries and proposals without making them visible to the client. That's cool because sometimes you want to put it in there, but you don't want the client to see it. But you want to, once they approve it, then they can see it, right? It's totally up to you. But you simply click on the little icon that tells you right there, and you can hide it from the client's view. Both actions, instead of managing the items by one, you can now do the check boxes on the side. You can duplicate or delete multiple items at the same time. I know it may not seem like a big deal to some, but it is huge. All right, so here we already know our proposal title, which is selling into 60, right? So this is what it comes up, selling into 60. You probably like, well, Janae, how did you get your picture and your name and cursive right there? If you're wondering that, that is just set up in my settings that I did with my smart proposal, and you can do that too, and it'll pop up on each and every one of your smart proposals, right? I don't know if this is settings on this one, another. So here you got an intro that you can put in here for the sake of time. We're just gonna go have fun. But we want to get, and then right here you see the signature. You can do none. Can I have no signature? I can do cursive, or this type of one, or this type of one. You have options for your signature. I like cursive. Cover photo, you can add a picture to this to make it look pretty. If you want to, I don't have any stock photos in my thing, and then you put in your pricing and your confirmation, right? And all of this is going to show up. But this is what we really want to get to in the meat and grits about this smart proposal, is we're going to add sections. First of all, how in a proposal, what section should go in the proposal? Anybody?
You asking what sections should go in the proposal?
What kind of sections should go in the proposal?
I normally start
Like
my
your flights,
Okay, flights. So,
accommodations,
mhm. So we got flights, accommodations,
your food,
flights,
like restaurant options.
accommodations.
transportation.
What we call food?
Meals.
I feel like dining. I feel like drinking, dining and drinking, or some kind of fancy word or whatever.
And let's say transportation.
Do you put your terms and conditions in here, what's included and what's not?
Yep, but it goes right up. It doesn't go under section. It goes under right here where it says have funds.
Okay.
Right
Well,
here.
actually, Janae, your terms and conditions, if you scroll down right there where you're at, when it says confirmation page, you can click the drop down and that would be like in your confirmations.
Yeah, so Marla, let me be clear. Terms and conditions is just like what Jay said. It should be already added into it because it's automatically within Travel Joy. But you want to know what's included and what's not included, then you can type that in up here in your, this part right here is considered like a letter that you would give to individuals. And I will show you guys what my example looks like. But for time, we're just gonna go in and put like what's included, what's not included. But in here, you would sell them the location or the adventure. We're selling on a cruise, going where, and this is where I always say, use your cousin chat. Don't use your brain cells. Let him help you. Put your thoughts on what you want to write and allow him to create it. What's the deposit? $100?
My deposit is $200.
$200. And what's your total price?
Well, I have different packages.
Oh, let's just get one.
Okay, one is for the interior stateroom is $1,325.
For right now. and then I'm gonna show you something, guys, how we break it up and be
That
different.
is per person, so
So yeah, we hold that pen for this, because normally right here, this would be what the total cost of your trip would be. If you're doing it a smart proposal, like the complete package. So if you're doing it packages and it's a $5,000 package, then it's broken down $2,500 per person. But there's going to be some information that you have to share in this portion right here to let your people know that this is not 5,000 per person, because this is the total price of your trip. The total price. Shannon, you had a question?
I did. I was trying to figure out, why did you have to type in your information? Because I haven't had to do that.
Type in what?
Like your flights, accommodations, and all that.
For sections.
Okay,
Then
maybe.
you add the
Okay.
items. Then you can
But-
add items.
Yeah. So, oh,
I
go-
got you. I got you. I got you. Never mind. I got it.
But
Slow brain today.
I have a question. So while you're right there, so if you do add item and do cruise,
Mhm.
and then you go over to library, it allows you to select the cruise line, the dates, and it puts all that in there.
Right. That's what I'm about to do right now.
Okay.
That's what I'm about to do. But I was just doing this so people can know it doesn't do it for everything and everybody, for all your sections, because they just got this built in. So it's going to put in like Marla just said, we're going to pick the ship that Jay's has, and it's going to populate it for us. And you're going to see how it populates each thing. But if you're doing hotels, accommodations don't pop up, but the hotel information will. So your section will still be called accommodations, and you will add the item underneath the actual section. Does that make sense to everyone? What's your
Or something like that. Is it what you're saying?
Hmm?
Like you said, under accommodations, we would add like the type of room, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it'll all pop up, the hotel rooms with the room information and stuff like that, but you're just titling that section where your hotel is accommodations.
Okay, gotcha.
And then on accommodations, the name of the hotel and all the different rooms that come. Just like on when we go to activities, one of the sections can be activities and excursions. And then under there, you're going to have all the listing activities and excursions you want to have underneath there.
Okay.
Something to make it look cleaner. All right, what's the cruise name?
The icon of the seas.
Icon of the sea.
I just came from that boat. Nice boat.
Search my cruise, and I'm going to type in the cruise operator is.
Royal Caribbean.
I'm going to put it in, and then this one where you get all the ships and names.
I'm sorry, the Utopia of the seas. I'm sorry.
Utopia, the other name. And we already got our departure, which we already said is
17th February.
This is important that you know the right date, because it's going to populate your schedule based off what you put in there. Okay. And if you put in a different date and it doesn't come up, it's because it's not pulling that information, because you got the incorrect date. So it says, right, this is what I want to show. Utopia of the Seas doesn't have a departure on February 17, 2025, below it's the closest match. So this is where you come in to play checking your information, because then it puts in its own little dates. Friday, February 21st. Now here's the deal. What may be the actual itinerary and stuff for that. But in all things in technology, when things are new, you have little hiccups. So no worries if it doesn't pop up, you can still make adjustments and corrections. And so that's why I am glad that it came up like this. So here it's going to automatically put in, like Marla said, the accommodations, the dining, activities, the entertainment, health and fitness, kids team schedule. This does not happen on hotels of that nature if you're not doing, if you're just doing like you're building your package. So on the cruise, you got it. Pretty soon, it'll probably be like that for everything. We'll see. So here we go. We got all the nice little information and we added it into our itinerary. So what would have probably taken us, and I want y'all to know y'all all got A's because you all said the exact same things of what it would be that they have in here. You see the activities and stuff like that. We just left off activities, but you see how it populated. Now this is what I was saying. So this is how it populate, and it's all together. So you don't have nothing to separate it. This is why your sections make it look pretty. So here I got the Utopia of the Seas. I'm gonna bring my Utopia of the Seas at the top. So now you can change it out however you want to do it. I'm gonna put my dining up under dining. I'm gonna put my accommodations up underneath accommodations. And then I'm going to put my activities and stuff. Activities. So I put some activities down here. Activities. And then I'm gonna bring my activities up at the top. Like so. Right, so, and so now I got all the little activities. Now, the one other thing is the actual itinerary. So like I add a section for itinerary. Because y'all see that itinerary being broken down for you like Barney style. And I'm just gonna put it underneath my section, itinerary. Remember I told you Travelify had the lead on Travel Joy because it had all of this already inside of it. So I'm very, very super duper happy that is now transverting over to Travel Joy. Oh, yeah. All right, so now, boom, I just did a little bit of organization on some things. And now let's kind of see what this looks like. All right. Didn't take a long time for anything, but we're about to preview this. And right here is the trip overview, and this is where the sections come into play. When you don't have this broken down, then this doesn't come up. So it helps to put your sections in to break down your thing. So it's like an outline. You know what I mean? Everybody, like you got the top, the main topic, the main thing, then you got the subtopics, right? So that's what it breaks down to. And in here, right here, it has the total price. Again, the total price for what they're asking is they're not putting in per person or anything like that. They're literally putting in the price point. So when Jay was talking about the different cabins and of that nature, when you go under, we're gonna go under here right now, just click on lodging. You see the lodging that it bought up the Royal Loft Suite. But it didn't bring up anything else. Y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Again, everything is not perfect, but now this is going to give Jay an opportunity to go ahead, put in her interior cabin, put in her ocean view, put in her balcony with just the same amount of pretty pictures as well. But it's also going to give her a chance to put in the price points for each of these when they see it. So you can tailor it again to however you want to do it, but the client's going to see it. So it's right here on the title. Let's just say I'm going to edit this right now, still in presentation mode. But when we go into edit, right at the title, it's going to say Royal Loft Suite, and I'm going to have dash and a $ and a price. So the first thing they see at each cabin that they look at, they're going to see the price point and they're going to see PP because that's going to say per person. So that's another way that you guys can work through. I don't like putting this on my, I don't like putting the price point on here, and I'm going to show you guys why. Because it's going to ask, do you want to accept payments? And I'm going to say yes, and it's going to ask, add your supplier costs, right? So you're going to go in here, and the supplier cost is what they're asking you to do in the sections. Edit. Right here on the right-hand side. I'm gonna have to put my supplier cost in here. Whatever. That's fine. How many workers you take there? Okay, there we go. Let's just say $1,000. And so right here, it's gonna say pay to the supplier. If you got a markup, great. If you don't, if you have a markup, you can put yes. This is gonna tell you the markup price, what it is at 10%, 15, 20, all this is actually great if you wanna just like know what the price's percentage is. So let's just say we do a markup of 5%, $50, whatever. That's it. So now your client's price is $1,050. But when one person, if you're sending it, you can't send this out to multiple people. So when one person clicks on it to make a payment, then no one else is going to be able to make a payment. Ask me how I know. I did that. I sent it to the main person, and I sent the link out to everybody so everybody can see it. But the main person clicked on it to make a payment. And so no one else can make a payment. So that's when I realized, oh, this is not for groups. This is not for multiple people. This is for if you're doing a fit and it's going to visual husband, wife, girls trip or whatever, and they're making a decision about it. But only one person can make the payment. So if you're going to do it that way, then everybody needs to pay that one person, and then it'd be right as rain. So when you do send them the invoice and they choose to make the payment, they can, but they're making it for everybody. Does that make sense to everyone? And no one will get separate invoices. Only one person will get the invoice because they paid it. All right, so that in a nutshell, we quickly used the new feature tool for cruises to create a beautiful itinerary for the Utopia of the Seas. Now we got about 4 minutes, right? Does anybody got any questions? I'll run over to ChatGPT and put in some footage.
So Janae, can you use this without the prices then and to send to everybody, or can you use a group? I mean, can you use this in a group? Is there a way to do it so that it can go out to everybody and be paid by them?
No,
Oh,
Okay.
not in the smart proposal. It's not.
Okay.
To build the booking page for it, but it is good for the individual. And yes, you can. To ask the other question, yes, you can. Like you cannot pay this. Like you could say you don't want you don't. I can go back in here and I can say on this payment, accept payment right here, and I can say no. So when I say no, it takes away the ability for anybody to make payments, and I can send this out to any and everybody for an approval with the price point right here. Does that make sense to everyone?
Also, Janae, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
When you're using your smart proposals, as you start to use them more, you see where that button says library. You can click on library. If you're starting from scratch with a new proposal, you can click on library and click on one of the proposals that you've already made to already have like a show created for you, and you just go in and change the information. That's probably more helpful if you're not doing a cruise. If you're doing like, a regular trip, not a cruise, it's helpful to already have that show in place, and then you can just go in and change the information.
Change
But
it.
that's what I do.
So you see, so what she just said is I have staterooms listed in mine. So when I did do a cruise, the cabins was the most irritating part of me, right? I thought. So I kept that in my library. So when I do a cruise again, I'm just gonna take my staterooms and put them where they're supposed to be. Especially if I'm using the same, if like just say this was the same ship that I was using. So now I'm dropping it in under the accommodations. And I like to go and see the big one because it looks better to me when I can see it in the big picture. Delete. So I went in, thanks Jay for saying it. And you see how it picked the picture for me. I didn't pick that picture, it did it for me. Oh, here, this is where they're selling it. Like this right here, this is where you can take this information right here and put it at the very top, like in here. It's giving it to you. It's doing this for cruises. It doesn't do it for like if you're doing your trip. But this is when I say you're going to be selling the whatever it is, and you put in the information, the dates and stuff like that, this is the perfect example of what I would copy and paste and put in my top. So then when it comes to putting Utopia Seeds here as my little click, this one show up down. It wouldn't show up right here. It's going to show up right here. And then I also have my what's included, what's not included. So here's the world law. And then I added the things that I saved in my library, which was staterooms. And this is how I did my staterooms before, where I just had simple balcony, sea view inside, boom, boom, boom. So you can, like Jay said, you can have this saved into your part. And I'm gonna go ahead and just copy and paste this so y'all can kind of see what I'm talking about. When I say I like to use this type of verbiage inside up here. And if anybody got any more tips on using smart proposals, how many of you use smart proposals?
I
Do
have.
you like it?
I do. I was trying to test out this feature where they have like now you can put options, which can come with different payments. I thought that would help me when I'm creating like a proposal with different options. But the thing about that is like your different options, like if I wanted to say, okay, you have this hotel for $1,000, but here's another option with this hotel that's $700. It still takes all of those fees and puts it together at the top. And that's what like I was like, okay, that doesn't really help me because now they're looking at it like, oh, this is this is the amount, and it doesn't break it up. So that was kind of hard.
And so what she's talking about is what I said. It helps to just put the pricing inside of your actual proposal, because it does become a little different when you're using these features right here and it's not wanting to do what you needed to do. So again, this space right here, or any space that you use on your as you scroll down. I don't know if it's scroll down. Are y'all there?
Yeah.
Okay. Must be my little thing and stuff.
Oh.
My travel joy just
Hit the refresh button.
oh, it's all stuff. Hold on, everything's stuff. I can't get to y'all.
Janae, I haven't used it. Well, I've used Traveljoy, but it's been a while since I've done a smart proposal. But I am working on one right now. But I did notice also that not only do they bring up information for your cruises, but when you put in your flight information populates as well.
Everything populates.
Mm-hmm.
Everything populates now for you guys. And
Yeah.
like it's a little bit of glitches, but they're not big, they're not huge, you know. But like Marquita said, you utilize it, especially when you got onesies and twosies and type deal. It's easier, faster for you to do. You can do a smart proposal in less than 30 minutes just by leveraging what they have. My computer's stuck and it is now time for us to end. Let me jump on my phone real quick so I can see if I can take hold.
Compared to what it used to be.
Oh man, don't you know it?
It also does that when you're creating itineraries. It does the same thing as far as populating your information.
Yes, I cannot show it that. So if you don't really know what you kind of want to do, if you click on itinerary, it gives you some different things like ideas, like you were talking about dining options and stuff like that, activities. It gives you idea if you don't know, if you don't have any idea. I recommend you go inside and you definitely play with it because it is very advantageous once you get to use the knack of it to be able to drum out proposals that are very beautiful and your client will think you worked hours on them. So if you are charging that research fee, right, then it's like, oh, shoot, she worked it. She did all this work. Absolutely, so it makes it work. You want to give them ideal, polished itineraries. What I don't want you to have is what one of our young ladies went to convention and she was like, Yeah, so I would run into people that are saying they just copy and paste from the supplier and send it to the client. Don't do that. Just
Oh.
don't do that. That's tacky. I'm just gonna keep it real. That's you're your professional. You own your own business. You own your company. It's a different name. It's not the supplier name. So you make sure your items have what you want it to have. Your brand, your colors, whatever. That's why my signature block, cursive, my picture, so that your clients know this is you. You leverage the supplier to give you the information, but don't be lazy. Copy and paste it at least onto your stuff. All right, everybody, let's get ahead and jump off over here. I'm going to I cannot show my screen. That's it's locked over there. So you can oh, dang. Thanks, Jay. Jay put in one of her favorite itineraries that she did for a client. And I'm gonna tell y'all something else. Jay looks at my itinerary. She's like a good second eye, always for individuals, and she be catching things. I always tell people she has a creative eye, but also just simple grammar stuff too. So run it through someone else too. Don't be like, hey, check out this link. Tell me what you think before you sending it to your clients, just to get a second set of eyes. And do they have to be in travel? Absolutely not. If they know how to read and can kind of see some, can tell you what look crazy, give it to your friend, give it to your family member. They're going to be a good person to help review your itinerary. Because if it doesn't make sense to them, it may not make sense to your client. All right. So everybody be good. Let's jump on this next Zoom. Catch the recording on the YouTube channel as always. And we'll see each other same time, same bat channel next week. We're going to do some more email marketing using HubSpot because I said we're going to drill down and start doing more of it for you to be able to capitalize on it. And then we'll hit up our next second payment plan, which will probably be what's that? Klarna. All right. Take care. Good night, y'all.
Nice job, Jay.